Hello and welcome to our English news broadcast to you on Canal, Algérie. To the headlines. The President of the Republic puts forward Algeria's new approach to attract investors via a series of reforms while chairing the proceedings of the Algerian-Russian Economic Forum in Moscow. The President of the Republic inaugurates in Moscow the commemorative stele of Emir Abdel Qadir, the founder of the Algerian state and the protector of the Russian consulate's members in Damascus. The famous Algerian scholar Taher Aljet is buried here in Algiers, and the President of the Republic extends his sincere condolences to the late's family. And Africa's Grand Museum is temporarily housed by Bulqin Palace with the main objective to display the continent's rich cultural legacy. As part of his visit to Russia, the President of the Republic, Abdelmajid Tebboune, chaired on Wednesday the proceedings of the Algerian-Russian Economic Forum with the participation of economic operators from both countries with a view to promoting partnership and cooperation in several fields. Minister Kabash sums up this event and gives us the gist of the President's speech.
70 Algerian operators and 200 Russian businessmen were present during this forum, an occasion to examine the investment opportunities and partnerships between the two countries. During his intervention at the opening of the forum, the President expressed his joy in carrying this visit to the friendly country Russia and taking part in this forum.
نلتقي اليوم في هذه المدينة الجميلة العريقة إحدى كبريات عواصم العالم أذكر موسكو.
The President affirmed that this event is a precious opportunity to examine the economic capacities of the two countries, recalling Algeria's reforms and commitments to attract investors and investment projects, making the year 2022-2023 the year of economic revival, starting with the revision of the judicial framework to ensure a favorable climate for investors, the new investment law, and the facilitations granted to encourage investors and the creation of small and medium enterprises, in addition to the transformation towards digitization and knowledge economy.
مفهوم المقاولاتية وإنشاء المؤسسات الصغيرة والناشئة وتكريس التوجه نحو التحول التكنولوجي والرقمنة.
The President of the Republic also affirmed that Algeria created an agency for the promotion of investment to accompany Algerian and foreign investors willing to launch their investment projects, indicating the immense efforts deployed in the fight against bureaucracy through the liberation of investment from the administrative hindrances.
نعتبر أن سرعة في الاستثمار والنجاعة في الاستثمار تتطلب تحرير الاستثمار من الإدارة ومن البيروقراطية. وعلى هذا الأساس
On this regard, texts have been signed making the Agency for Promotion of Investment the only decision maker when it comes to investments. Today, 85% of Algeria's national capital is detained by Algerian private economic operators. Unfortunately, the money circulating in the fields of economy and trade, about 90 to 92% is public money, and this mixture created anomalies according to the President. Hoping for the national private and foreign sectors and even the Russian one to start opening their own banks to create private economy, private money and private factories.
مال خاص ومصانع خاصة إلى آخره. ما بين الخواص ما فيش انحرافات. فيه معاملات مقبولة كلها.
The head of state stated that the new opportunities are there to discover in different fields, especially that Algeria is about to implement an investment plan in the upcoming year, including the sectors of energy, agriculture, pharmaceutical and fruit production, affirming that the economic relaunch in Algeria is moving forward at a good pace. Currently, about 1,450 industrial projects are underway. Today, through the new policy adopted, Algeria will hopefully break free from hydrocarbons, which is why they've started in 2021 to work on this operation, and they've decided that Algerian exports will reach $7 billion back at that time. By this year, they are hoping to reach $13 billion.
في هذه السنة هذه سنة 2023 إلى 13 مليار دولار وتكون العجلة قد انطلقت. بالنسبة للستارت اب كنا احنا بالتقريب الدولة الأخيرة في قارتنا الإفريقية. اليوم أصبحنا من الأوائل.
Regarding the sector of startups, the president outlined that Algeria is among the well-rated African countries on this matter, hoping for the best with God's willing, and with the Algeria-Russian cooperation, they know, as well as our Russian friends, that there's large capacities when it comes to technological conversion, tourism, agriculture, and even exact sciences.
بالنسبة للسياحة، بالنسبة للفلاحة، بالنسبة كذلك للعلوم الدقيقة.
The President of the Republic held also several activities on the second day of his state visit to Russia, starting with the inauguration of the commemorative stele of Emir Abdel Qadir, the founder of the Algerian state. Najah Diyar has the details.
The second activity of the President of the Republic during his visit to Russia was the inauguration of the Emir Abdel Qadir Square in Moscow.
يشرفني أن أشارك اليوم نيابة عن لحكومة موسكو أن نرحب بكم بهذه المناسبة عندما نحن نفتح اليوم هذه الساحة باسم البطل الوطني الجزائري الأمير عبد القادر.
A commemorative stele in memory of the founder of the modern Algerian state. This is the first stele in honor of an Arab Muslim leader in the history of the Russian capital. This tribute to the Emir Abdel Qadir is in recognition of his contribution and his role in spreading the values of tolerance, dialogue of religions and human principles. He had been made a Knight of the White Eagle rank in 1860 for his role in protecting members of the Russian consulate in Damascus. Following the inauguration of the commemorative stele, the President of the Republic highlighted the depth of the historical relations between Algeria and Russia, indicating that Algeria and Russia's relations have deep roots in history for more than 60 years. And this Emir Abdel Qadir Square is an evidence of the strong and deep relations binding the two peoples. He added that he is proud to see the Emir Abdel Qadir memory in the most beautiful square in Russia and in Moscow. He also thanks the Russians, the friends of Algeria.
أن يتواجد الأمير عبد القادر في أجمل ساحة في روسيا وفي موسكو عاصمة التاريخ. شكرا لكل أصدقائنا الروس.
At the headquarters of the Russian Premier's office in Moscow, the President of the Republic met the Russian Prime Minister Mikhail Mishustin. The meeting took place in the presence of the two countries' delegations. Later in the day, the President of the Republic visited the premises of the Russian Federation Council in Moscow, where he was welcomed by the chairwoman of the Federation Council of the Russian Federation, Valentina Ivanovna Matvienko. The President greeted the members of the board for this warm welcome. Then he visited an exhibition retracing the history of the Council and the depth of the historical and diplomatic relations linking the two countries and the key dates of the Algerian-Russian cooperation. The President of the Republic had a discussion with the President of the Russian Federation Council, Valentina Ivanovna Matvienko. Discussions were held in the presence of both countries' delegations. Subsequently, the President signed the guest book of the Council of the Federation of Russia. The President was accompanied by the President of the institution, Valentina Matvienko. The President of the Republic also met the President of the Duma, or the lower house of the Russian Parliament, Vyacheslav Volodin, and this was at the headquarters of the Duma in Moscow. And as Algeria is grateful to all who supported it during the glorious liberation war, the President of the Republic awarded the Ashir Merit Order Medal to the friend of the National Revolution, Abdria Kolovich Pavenko. As a token of gratitude to his sacrifices and his participation in the operations of demining the Charles and Maurice barbed wires. Loyal to the traditions established during all his visits abroad, the President of the Republic met in Moscow with the representatives of the national community settled in Russia. On this occasion, he reaffirmed the constant attention he gives to the Algerian community abroad and the support of their concerns, recalling all the measures put in place in favor of the community, which plays an important role in the country's development process. He tasked the Algerian officials to open a cultural center in Russia.
Convergent views marked the Algerian-Russian Economic Forum. The participating ministers of both countries were unanimous as regards promoting cooperation and partnership in several fields. More insights on this key story with Melissa Kabesh.
The proceedings of the Algerian-Russian Economic Forum constitutes a real opportunity to explore new prospects for the two countries. For Russia, Algeria is a key partner in Africa with a promising partnership in different fields. The two parties are willing to boost cooperation between them in different fields, including economy and innovation.
Our cooperation with Algeria allows us to preserve petroleum markets balance throughout the group of OPEP+, in which Algeria holds a strategic position. Nearly 200 Russian economic operators are present in this forum who are interested in the Algerian market. We are here searching for potential partners in the fields of renewable energies, environment, agriculture, hoping to exchange expertise with other professionals.
Proactive and interesting for both sides, for Russia, for Algeria. We are working mostly in the marketing of the diesel.
Russian businessmen expressed their interest in the Algerian market, especially with the new investment law and the facilitations granted by the authorities.
Algeria is one of Russia's most important allies in Africa. The volume of bilateral exchange has increased with nearly 70% in 2022. Our two countries are deploying great efforts in terms of energy cooperation to balance the gas and petroleum markets within the framework of the OPEP and the OPEP+.
حاليا فيه
A development program is established between the group Saidal and the Russian company Biocad for the production of certain brands of medicine. We aim during this forum to push the bilateral action in the field of knowledge economy and innovation.
The event is an ideal opportunity to establish a strategic plan so both Algiers and Moscow can promote their economic cooperation in different sectors, including industry, transport, logistics, and aviation.
Following the death of Sheikh Mohammed Tahar Ait Aljit at the age 106, the President of the Republic extended a message of condolences to the family of the deceased. I quote, "It is with great sadness and deep sorrow that we have learned the death of the eminent Sheikh Mohammed Tahar Ait Aljit, scholar, mujahid and companion of Shuhada, Imam and devoted preacher. May the Almighty grant him holy mercy." The Algerian people have lost this great man, a mujahid, an imam devoted to his mission, and an eminent scholar who devoted his life to preaching, favoring moderation and calling for respect for the values of our holy religion, namely tolerance and brotherhood. The Algerian people who admired his speeches and his valuable contributions are saddened by his loss, wrote the President. In this painful ordeal, I offer to his family, his loved ones, and all those who knew and loved him my most sincere condolences and my deepest feelings of compassion, praying Allah Almighty to grant him, the deceased, his holy mercy and welcome him in his vast paradise among the martyrs and saints. Unquote. The late Mujahid Sheikh Mohammed Tahar Ait Aljit was buried on Wednesday after the Dhuhr prayer at the Isa Tidir Cemetery in Beni Msous. The funeral took place in the presence of the Prime Minister, the President's advisors, members of the government, the Secretary General of the Ministry of National Defense, political figures, members of his family, disciples, companions, and many of his relatives. The World Blood Donor Day, coinciding with June 14th, was celebrated across the world. The World Health Organization designated Algeria to host the festivities marking this day. To this effect, many campaigns were launched to raise the citizens' awareness about blood donation, a simple but a noble move that may save life for people in sensitive cases. As part of fighting terrorism and securing borders, the People's National Army detachments arrested 18 elements supporting terrorist groups in various operations, while other units in Tamnarast and Burj Beji Mukhtar seized an FMPK machine gun, a rifle with a scope, 4 Kalashnikov machine pistols, and 3 handmade bombs. In the same context, the PNA Security Services arrested a mugger in Tamnarast. His name is Hunati Sid Amar, known as Bibi. The criminal, who was in possession of a Kalashnikov machine pistol and a quantity of ammunition, was brought before the judicial authorities at the Tamnarast court, where he was placed in custody on charges of carrying and transporting firearms and ammunition without authorization and spreading fear among the population. As part of combating organized crime and sustained efforts to thwart the scourge of drug trafficking in our country, combined detachments of the People's National Army in coordination with the various security services during the operations carried out across the military regions intercepted 48 drug traffickers and thwarted attempts to smuggle a quintal and 98 kilograms of smuggled Kiev or cannabis from the borders with Morocco and seized 44,700 psychotropic tablets. Similarly, the border guards foiled in coordination with the National Gendarmerie and Customs Services attempts to smuggle 28,300 liters of fuel into Bissa, Suqharas, Ataraf, Tamnarast and Burj Beji Mukhtar provinces. On the other hand, the Coast Guards foiled illegal immigration attempts along the national coastline and rescued 50 people aboard home-built boats, while 122 illegal immigrants of various nationalities were arrested throughout the country. The 15th anniversary of the Polisario Front's creation was marked in Paris by a cultural event during which the Sahrawi diaspora reiterated its commitment to continue struggling till independence. Let's discover more of this event covered by Afaf Belhushat and taken up by Najah Tiyar.
This celebration is spotlighted with the Sahrawi Arab Democratic Republic flag colors, organized by the Sahrawi diaspora to celebrate half-century in the fight for independence. I am one of the oldest members in the Liberation Front of Saqi al-Hamra and Wadi Dahab. We have been fighting for our liberation since 1973. We pray God to snatch our independence. We will keep our faith in the fight. We value our origins. We will always fight for our country's independence because we believe in it, and we are working on it here in France day by day until it's achieved. On this occasion, I would like to recall that a long time ago, the King of Morocco, Hassan II, spoke about a police operation that would not exceed a week. It exceeded 2 weeks, then 50 years, and we resisted it for all this period. The Sahrawi people did not attack Morocco. This is only a legitimate defense that will last until the Sahrawi people restore his total sovereignty and liberty of the total Sahrawi Arab Democratic Republic territory. The different nations who support the Sahrawi cause have the same staunch determination despite the colonizers' plot to keep their voices unheard in Europe. The massively organized corruption by the Moroccan government to prevent all the Sahrawi people's demonstrations give us more powerful arguments that will back up our position in the fight to self-determination of the Sahrawi people. The support of Algeria to the Sahrawi cause, as the President of the Republic has reaffirmed, is unwavering and inalienable. Our participation here comes after Algeria's election as a non-permanent member at the UN Security Council. Algeria will continue to back just causes, particularly the Sahrawi and the Palestinian causes. This celebration was almost marked by the traditional Sahrawi music and dances and an exhibition of the Sahrawi cause martyrs photos.
And we wrap up our bulletin with the inauguration of Africa's Grand Museum here in Algiers. The museum will be temporarily housed by the Belkine Palace. The main task of this major cultural institution is to display and preserve the continent's rich cultural legacy. This project is part of the African Union's 2063 agenda. That was it for today. Thank you for joining us. Good night.